Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Love Notes with CHUKS NUEL. Remember, all we do and talk about here is love. Basically, there's a lot of hate in the world. You see on different social media platforms, people lashing out on themselves, laying all sort of abuses on themselves. But here is different. All we do here is talk about love and nothing but love. So please sit down and grab your popcorn as we move into the agenda of today. Thank you. So, in my previous video, we talked about love, right? And we talked about different types of love and their characteristics. Also, we talked about self-love and its importance, right? And lastly, we talked about building a healthy understanding about love. So, moving us further into today's agenda, we'll be talking about, or rather, we'll be discussing about the 5 things I wish I knew before I fell in love. The 5 things I wish I knew before I fell in love. Now, see, the essence of this video is to actually to pass a message is from my own little experience to other persons like me out there, before things that you should know before you fall in love. Yes, so that this is basically a kind of a guide on the key factors or key things you should know before you fall in love. Please sit tight as I take you down, or rather brief you about my love story and how it all went. I promise it will be worth the while. Thank you. Story time, right? So this is a brief about my recent relationship, right? And how it all went. So it actually started when I decided to fall in love with a colleague of mine. And yes, I was a senior colleague to her, right? So at first I was trying to maintain standards, working in an organization, you are meant to abide by the rules of that organization, right? So as time goes on, we began to find each other attractive and interesting. At first, or rather, then I was not able to confess my feelings enough, right? I was basically a shy type. Most guys, we are mostly shy, but we tend to hide it. So I was mostly a shy type, and she was always giving me this green light, but I didn't know how to click in. You get? So I guess she noticed that I couldn't click in, so she decided to be my friend. We decided to go on these friend vibes. So from friend vibes, we began to get close to each other. You get? But the thing about this relationship of mine is that I did not open up to tell her how I really feel about her. So most times she would feel like maybe she's forcing herself on me. Meanwhile, she didn't know that I was enjoying her company, right? So as time goes on, we begin to do and embark on different fun times. You get? We go out, we do a lot of different manner of things. You get? So things we are moving smoothly until the girl tend to demand a lot of things which I wasn't able to provide as at that time, and these begin to grow chaotically. Yes, I don't know if there's a word like that, but things began to grow chaotically. We couldn't manage the situation. It got to the point whereby even a sight of each, and maybe if I sight her, I became very uncomfortable, right? But regardless, we were still trying to force things out. You get? Now, I once had this mentality that if you love me, you're going to love me for who I am. Whatsoever way you find me, you should love me. I didn't understand there was need to grow even when you are in love. So this affected my relationship badly. Now, to cut the whole long story short, the girl left me, yes, And guess what? She's married to another man. She's married to another man, and yes, I'm kind of happy. I'm happy. Yeah, I think I'm happy. Why am I happy? Because it's a good thing to know that yes, someone else know that find worth in something that you also find worth. Whatever you value, if other people value it, you feel yes. But whatever you value and other people disvalue or discredit it. So I'm kind of happy. But the deal is that we didn't break up. She just left me like that. These girls and their things. So watch out as I list out 5 things I noticed that were lacking in my relationship. See, this is out of my analysis, and I believe that these 5 things, if they were in place, I would have a tight relationship. So sit back and watch. Now, the first thing on my list is lack of communication. Now let's discuss about communication. Remember, we're talking about 5 things that I wish I knew before I fell in love. Now these people tends to, you know, people do not understand the importance of communication in a relationship. And why is that? Now my own reason is because I was shy. I was a shy type, right? I couldn't tell you everything the way I felt about you and all that. I couldn't even tell her when I'm in the worst of when I'm in my worst, when I'm in my best. I couldn't express myself to her. And she needed all that. Now, because of this, she felt like she was imposing herself on me, that I really did not feel the way she felt for me. So she began to, girls, when they feel like they are too attached to you and you're not attached to them emotionally, they begin to withdraw themselves, right? So I believe that this was the reason she began to withdraw herself bit by bit. I didn't blame her, it's my silly self. I blame my silly self. So communication, lack of communication. We all need to learn how to communicate to our partners. And see, communication is not complete when the person you are talking to understands you, and you are sure that the person understands what you are trying to say. So in terms of communication, we should know when and how to put our words, right? Communication matters a lot, right? But what matters most is knowing when and how to communicate. Now, believe me, your husband cannot just come back from work and boom, you enter. This is for married people. Okay. Yes, and boom, you enter. Honey, where's the money I asked you for? This and that. Yeah. You begin to lay a lot of complaint. You don't know what he passed through during the working hours. So first of all, you allow him to rest, serve him his food if possible, do a lot of things. Now, when he's calm, you would come up with anything and also find a better way. I believe you must know your man or you must know your woman if you two are in the relationship. So communication is a very big key. Yes, it's one of the key factors to a successful relationship. So I urge you guys to learn how to communicate within yourself. Remember, relationship is a man and a woman who have two totally different life experiences and perspectives coming together. Now, if I'm not able to tell you this is what I want and this is how I want it, and you telling me I think it works better this way, and we put our heads together and make it work, how can it work? So definitely there will be a lot of disagreement if communication is not done the way it should. So communication is one of the key factors that I believe shattered my recent relationship. So moving on, we'll be moving on to the next. So the second on my list is love isn't always enough. Yes, this I tend to find it, or rather I tend to learn it in a very hard way. Love is not always enough. I used to think that any girl that likes you is going to love you for who you are, and that is it. So I didn't see the need to grow, both emotionally, verbally, financially, and otherwise. So for somebody I love, I needed to prove and show care. And sometimes care does not come by mere words. And sometimes action come into place, right? So if you are not financially stable, yes, or you are not emotionally, you know, you are not emotionally there for the person, be it a man or a woman, bet me the foundation of that your love is shaking. So love is not always enough. You tend to put out other things. Yes. So we'll be moving on to the fair thing I thought, or rather I know, ruined my recent relationship. So the third on my list is knowing yourself before you love someone. Now most of us, remember in my recent video I talked about self-love. So this is where self-love was supposed to be. Now, most of us, we don't really know our self-worth. Yes, you should know your value. You should know what you want and what you don't want. Yes, because if you don't know any of this, it definitely will bring disagreement in your relationship. For example, during my own time, I knew little or less or nothing about what I want, because all I thought I needed then was just a very beautiful girl. But I didn't know that I also need somebody that will be emotionally there, and also somebody that will be there in regards to time. You have to spend time with me. And my girl was kind of a very busy person. She's not always there. So know what you want. Know yourself first. And knowing yourself comes by knowing what you want and what you don't want. Your values, things you uphold with, things you uphold high in your life, and make sure that it suits well with this particular person. Love is not enough. I keep referring on the other on my second and second thing I listed. So know yourself, know what you want, and know what you don't want. Know yourself before you love somebody. Yes. So we'll be moving on to the next one. Sit right back. I hope you are enjoying the video, right? So we'll be moving on the fourth one. The fourth one is relationship requires effort and compromise. Yes, it cannot be overemphasized. Love already we know is sacrifice. It's something you have to sacrifice to prove you love, right? So relationship, definitely you go into relationship with who you love, right? So relationship comes with effort. You have to put in effort, and you have to compromise a lot of things. Now, you compromising a lot of things doesn't mean that you should change the entire thing about yourself. No, there are sometimes you say things that you normally say no to because of the love you have to this person. You say, okay, let me just give it. Again, so we ought to know that relationship is not a bed of roses. I said it in my previous video. Love is not a bed of roses. It comes with a lot of brouhaha, right? So, okay, let me give you an example. Now, maybe there are times that you feel so weary and tired, right? And your partner, on the other hand, will be demanding a fun time and all that. You need the rest, right? But maybe because you want to please him or her, you tend to give in. Now, on a normal note, this is not what you needed, but you just have to do it because this is this is the person asking, right? There are things that you can say, okay, I did this because it is you. If it's not you, I wouldn't have done it. That is when you put in love and effort. But during my own time, I did not actually understood this. I was just putting myself first. Now, remember in my recent video, I told you guys the difference between self-love and selfishness. So I think I was kind of selfish in my recent relationship, rather. Yes, I think I was kind of selfish because a lot of things that I was not ready to sacrifice. Yes. So relationship comes with, yeah. it comes with putting in effort. It requires putting effort and compromise. You have to compromise a lot of things to prove love. For God, even God self, God compromised with his God nature, right? Because of the love he has for his humanity, he compromised his God nature and came down unto us as a man, a mere man. Imagine that. So love definitely needs effort and compromise. So sit right there while we discuss the last on our list, but that's not the list. So the last but not the least on my list, at the drop lines. The last but not the least on my list, right? So the last but not the least on my list is that it's okay to prioritize your self-love. It is okay to prioritize your self-love. I didn't say selfish. Before you guys should not start misquoting me, I did not say selfish, I said self-love. So let me break it down here, right? Now, there are times that if you see that you have put in a lot of effort and these things is not working, yes, it's not working. There are things that you are allowed to work out naturally. But if you have put in a lot of effort and you see it's not working, you do what? You sit back and watch. You relax. First of all, give yourself that baby treatment, right? Yes. Most times your partner might not be there for you. Be there for yourself. Yes. Be there for yourself. Don't make yourself look more of a liability. Because if you look more of a liability, they will treat you as a liability. Now, how do you treat liability at yourself? Something that bothers you every time, and you know that this thing is of no importance to you. How do you treat it? So when you begin to, pressure yourself on or push yourself on your partner, and your partner does not see, self-love. One thing about self-love is that it gives us what? Yes, it makes us, it makes our partner to see the worth in us. That yes, so this person is doing fine for you. Yes, I like the way you treat yourself, because the way you treat yourself is definitely the way you treat me. So self-love is of high importance. So in conclusion, I've learned from my mistakes, right? And I'm a better person now, right? So I know that if I happen to fall in love again, I would definitely treat my partner better. Yes. So I believe you have picked one or two things that you're going to add up in your relationship to spice it up, right? Now, if you are like me, you are falling out of love with your partner, then try to do what? Sit, rethink, and know things and things that you did not actually put in, or things and things that actually make the relationship not to work. Most times it's not your partner's fault. We tend to blame our partner. Sometimes it's our fault. So we do the rethinking and we analyze, and then we do what? We come back and re-strategize ourselves, rebuild ourselves, and make ourselves better. So please and please, if you have gotten to this stage of this video, thank you very much. I would love you to drop your sincere comment and maybe share your thoughts about your recent relationship, which will also help me to come up with another thing. But please keep your fingers crossed, because I'm coming up with another episode, and believe me, this one is going to be sweet and amazing. Thanks for watching, and we'll be right there. Remember, love or nothing. Bye. Lest I forget, do not forget to follow, please, I'm begging you. And also refer this to, it's just a new channel, but believe me that we are taking this to a bigger height. We will do this together and we'll get to a better place. So please and please do follow me, and may God bless you. And don't forget to drop a comment. It helps me a lot, it encourages me, and it makes me keep going and know that I'm not the only one in this job, because I cannot do it alone with achievements now. Yes. So please, I'm begging you, for us to get better every day, drop what you think about the video, drop your past relationship, what it's like, and drop maybe your own experience too, right? So please, I will appreciate that. Love and peace.